Let's see if this works. We're gonna put it with let's see how well it functions. So we have this part. Oh, this is gonna be horrible, isn't it? Because I'm moving the card really way too much. I think I'm gonna be really sick of this. But hold on a second. So I'm just gonna copy it now. Jeez Louise, this is gonna be horrible. This webcam is gonna be like oof, yeah. So we have this, yeah. All right. So let's see how well it goes with this thing. I don't know if it does anything rightfully so. So I'm gonna pull off the camera a little bit. Oh god. So to stream this, I think I need less of bitrate, right? Just because if I want to do this, then the computer is gonna be really melting. Like that. Like that. Boom. Alright, so let's see. Bitrate, doing a handshake. Alright. Yeah. It works, I just need to make sure that everything works fine. So if I have different cards on the table, and I'm going to pull them off, and I'm just putting them back in. I know where I need to put them now. So let's see. 2, 4, 3. There we go. They have been now changed from side. I'll pick them up. Yada. Alright, I'll put them back down. So this stream needs to be then on lower frames per second than from beforehand. So this needs to be on 70p, I think. Yeah, 70p on 60 frames. Because otherwise this thing will not work well. So yeah, let's see. So I move a card. Let's see, I move this card right over here. This is the card. I'm going to shake it a little bit and then pull it towards the camera. Let's see if it works. So I have the camera, the image here for camera. So yeah, there you have it. I guess this will work. I hope it works. I don't know if it works. What can I suspect? Nothing. Clearly I'm not going to suspect anything here. So yeah, well done. I'm going to pull it back down, like that, and see what's going on. Now I'm going to see at the camera angle. So yeah, yes. Alright, so I'm pulling it back down. The camera is going to be loading in, yeah. I'm putting it back down. Oh my god, that works. So now... No! God! Just doing a nice really big everything's done. That's great. So yeah, let's see. This is why I need to change the bitrate a little bit. So, oh god. Yeah, come on. You did so well last time. Alright. Let's see. We have now 6 cards. Yeah, there you go. And we need to make sure that everything is working fine for it. So yeah, it's just a test. So we're just gonna look at this, see if it works. Zooming it in, zooming out, casual stuff. So I'm picking it up, seeing if it works, Oh my god, it's the puzzle monolith. Alright. So yeah, I'm holding it down and it focused. Good. That means I can do this, but I need to do it steadily without shaking the camera. Well done. Well done, mate. So I'm picking up now this one. I'm gonna hold it again. Just casually holding it. And I'm saying like, well done. So I play it. And once I play it, I will put it back down on the view and then see if I can tap it. It will be easy to recognize. now let's put some more cards on the battlefield, because we want to know if everything is going to be fixed up. By the way, everything here is still in beta. So we have an island. Look at that beautiful island. Well done. We're gonna place the island down. So now we know that there is one island. Correct. So if I want to do this correctly and do this nice and easy, then to play, Magic with people online, well, congratulations. I need to tap it just like that. Boom. Now I have two islands there. And look at that. I draw another island. I'll put it right there. So if I want to make sure that if I want to play this game and I have different kind of cards, I also need to make sure that my commander is on the commander battlefield. So the commander, I don't know if you can see, hold on, is this. This is a beautiful commander. It's called the Lucas Guard because it's a very nice card to play. And then, I'm going to put it gently down in the commander zone. So it's going to be on this side where the iron ingot will be. So it's going to be in a commander zone where it is visible. So now we're going to orientate it a little bit. So the lands will be in this pool. Right over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, so that you have visual where it is. The artifacts will then be on, I think it's going to be on the side like this. So artifacts, like that. Artifacts going to be this. And every single time I'm using it, I think I'm just going to show like, I'm going to use this. And then people will know, and ambush. I think that will work, possibly. It's not going to be the greatest thing to do, but Shark Typhoon, best card in the game. An enchantment, whenever you play a card that's not a creature card, or non-creature card. Well, that means also you can actually play lands that actually pay for mana, but there is no lands that pay for mana. So every single time I'm laying down a card, like this, oh my god, that's a creature. Well, I'm placing the creature right there. And then I'm gonna make a mess with this, so every single time I play a card, all around, boom. And every single time I play a card, I will play another card. And then you go and you go and you go. So it would be possible. Now I need to figure out where I should put my deck. That's the main problem. So I'm not going to shake up the camera again. So the deck is gonna be here. Good. It's not that unstable. Okay, deck will be big, so it needs to be big, so it's like this size with a lot more cards. Alright, so that works. Let's see if the other things are also visible. Because I don't have them, it means that I can still use them. Gosh. So that works. You can see the visible tokens if you look at them. Let's see if I can just put them on. Ooh, lifelink. And what's that? That's Death Touch. Alright. And let's see if we can see. Well, the big words are going to be difficult to read, but it should be fine. It should be fine. Don't worry about it. It's too much. So, so this technically will work. Only though this is actually my setup for my drawing table. But I cannot figure out how to put it anywhere else. Because if I would put it somewhere else, it would not actually work well. So I know now how to put this setup on. The camera is actually attached to what's called, a chair. So don't worry about it. It's gonna be a little bit clunky, but it should work. I don't know if too many caps are here. How much caps are there? How many caps? So I have this. I need to move. Oh, carefully now. I changed the video. Oh boy. This is like really dedicated things to do, and it's really getting really annoyed if I'm not doing it correctly. So yeah, sudden shakes will actually shake up this camera a little bit more. pickups will not work well, put it that way, because I just picked it up, and look at that bit. So yeah, I just picked it up. I will put it back down, and I will change the camera a little bit slowly, like that. So I need to run this at a lower frame. I need to run this at a lower bit rate. So I need to run this at what? 4000p? Maybe. Well, let's try 5000. Just to be on the safe side, because I know that it's gonna be a lot of bitrate problems, but if I want to make sure that this camera doesn't fucking budge up like a lunatic, and as I'm just shaking the camera, I have a disconnection on the screen. That's bad. So yeah, I have now this. Now we're gonna just casually shake the camera again, like that. It's not gonna be looking great, I know. It's just to make sure that if I'm moving the camera, it should work. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just casually walking around it and see if it works. Alright, so if I'm just shaking the camera now up, it will actually focus well, which is good. Now, to make sure that everything works well, because I'm using a black background, hey girl, I'm just trying to test things out, to see if the Magic the Gathering actually works well. So, I'm just wanted to test out if a white screen actually works on this, because this is all black, if you can see. It's bad. There you go. So I'm just gonna move the cards and then put them down. Alright. Like that. I have now a white screen in the vision, if correctly. And now all the things should work, because now I have a white screen. That means that the camera can actually focus. So if I place my land down, the camera will see that I have my land down. Yeah. So now if I play another land, it will see it, and another. So if I then want to make sure that my deck is there, I can actually zoom out, correct? Come on, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Ooh, scary stuff. Scary stuff, come on. A little bit further, a little bit further. There you go. Oh. Alright, I know that my headphone is not that far away, but just gonna be careful picking this up. So this is the deck. It's a great deck. It's full of garbage, literally, just finding lands. So, alright, so if I'm putting this down, and I pick up the first card, it's a card. I will show you now. So it's a 1/3, kick a 4, 2 red, or well, 1 red and 1 colorless to play, and then kick a for 4 cost for 1 red. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return a target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, which is really good, surprisingly. So we're gonna place it down, as you can see. Oh boy, this is gonna be a bad thing. So I'm gonna look for the next card. And let's see. This one, yeah. All right. So I don't need to use. I'm not gonna use sleeves for this because it totally messes up things. So yeah, this is Aquid Spike. Equipment, rare. Equipped creature has Death Touch. However, whenever the equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half his or her hit points, rounded up. Equipment 3. So it's really good for game ending. If you know, for commander, you need to deal more damage than before. So we have another land. Land. Totally not interesting. And we're just gonna look at the cards. Another land. Oh my god. So we're already at 5 lands. So another land. I totally didn't. Yes, I totally did not shake this. So we're just going to shake up a little bit. There we go. Now it should be more land. Ah, there you go. So now we have one of the standard cards that are in the one of the Planeswalker decks that are available. It's called Dungeon Geist. It's a flying, and it taps a opponent creature that doesn't untap in its controller's untap step until Dungeon Guide leaves the battlefield. The main thing I put this in was actually because it had crowd control and only needed 4 mana in total, and it's a flying creature, which is really good because most of my cards actually buff flying, and I like to have evasive maneuvers in this deck. So I'll put it down, and look at that, we found finally the card that I need. So my commander is actually also a flying creature, which makes this creature actually quite good. It's wonder. I don't know if you can see it correctly. There you go. Come on, focus. Thank you. So it's Wanderer of the Even Owls. It's a flying for 3 mana. It's a 2/2 flying, but creature cards that are flying cost 1 less. Since that most of my creatures are flying, it actually works really well with this deck. This deck is not technically not built around flying, but it has a lot of flying. So there you go. So there you have another one with flying and haste. Also, this is a 2/2, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spells, wizards under your control gain +2/+2. Since that most of my creatures are wizards or flying, it's really good. Ah, there you have it. My only bloody damn artifact removal. It's a 2/2. When this enters the battlefield, it has a trigger called that you need to destroy an artifact. But it needs to destroy an artifact. So if the opponent doesn't have one, then well, you need to destroy one. This is my favorite card in this deck. It's actually a cycle card, which is good. So for 4 mana, it's a commit. It's an instant. Target. Wait. Let's see if I can get it right there. Yeah. And target spell or instant permanent into its owner's library on the 2nd top. So it's a kind of a counter spell. And then you have memory. What does memory do? Memory is 6 mana. So it's in your graveyard and you can play it. Each player shuffles his or her hand and library in his or her graveyard library, and then draw 7 cards. So what this does is actually causing me all my instants and sorceries and all my creatures that have died, I can just reuse. It's really good because it reuses aspects of mine. So this deck is actually blue-red. Which normally means that you are playing really aggressive with lots of card draw, but my deck is actually really slow upon that. So I actually use it as a little bit more of a draw deck. So every time I draw, something happens. Like this creature, I can draw it. I can cycle for it, so I can discard this card and then draw another card, or use it myself. The main thing is I need to draw things to do things, so that's why I'm using those things. Like Jace's Assurance, an enchantment. Every time I draw a card, the dark needs to put its top card from its library into the graveyard. So every single time I draw a card, regardless of what I do, you need to put a card in the graveyard. So eventually you will actually lose important cards into your graveyard, which is good for me, bad for you, and then, you know, the enemy is getting really frustrated. This is also a nasty bugger. It's the Bantry Infiltrator. It's a 3 mana cost colorless creature with ingest. So every time it deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles its top card from its library, and then it cannot be blocked. So combining that with the spike that I showed earlier, it can actually make sure that your HP is getting lower and lower all the time. I know this might not be the best setup to play Magic with, but it should be working fine as long as I just you know, keep on showing you the cards that I'm gonna play, or well, you know, I will set like, well, this is my hand, you know, I have 3 cards in my hand, and I know them, what they are, and then you know what to do with it. So yeah, like for instance, I have a spell that's called Contradict. It's a really expensive spell, but it also lets you draw a card, which is the thing that I'm doing. You know, I'm drawing cards, so every single card draw spell is in this. Or like cards like this, Unwind. It counters a target spell, non-creature spell, and then you can untap 3 lands, which is good. I also have multi lands, like blue-red multi lands. So let's see. If you control 2 or fewer lands, it comes untapped, which is good. It's not as great as the other one, but it's not bad. Let's see. Like for instance, I also have like this card. It's really terrible, but it's like a common card, but it's bad. It's an instant, 3 mana. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card, and unless you return a land to your owner's hand, to its owner's hand. So, if you have land that can trigger on battlefield entering, it's good. But I'm just doing this because I can draw 2 cards for 3 mana, which is really good, and I can just remove 1 card afterwards. So it doesn't matter that it is actually bad. It just means that I have other means to draw. Like for instance, this very cheap card. I can sacrifice this artifact to deal 1 damage to a target player. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. And then I can actually put this into the graveyard because of it, because I need to sacrifice it. And once it's sacrificed, I can draw a card. So for 1 mana, or well, for 2 mana, I can actually draw a card. So 1 colorless and 1 red, I can actually draw a card. Same goes for this one. This one is 3 mana, so it's a little bit more expensive. But when you sacrifice it, you can draw a card. But when this goes to the graveyard, you can also draw a card. So you draw 2 cards for 4 mana. So it's not that bad. It's just, you know, it's a little bit slow sometimes, but you need to have the draw card. So this is just mana. It's a monolith. It's always mana. And let's see. Ah, yeah, of course. Hold on. Where did I put it? Let's see. So what the commander actually does, because this is our great lord commander, the Locust God. It's a really good card. It has flying. But every time I draw a card, a 1/1 token with blue-red haste comes on the battlefield. So it has 6 mana, so it takes some time to get this thing done. But when I draw the card, I can then discard a card and then just do that. That's the 4 mana cost, so I can actually do it manually if I want, if I don't have cards that draw. But if it dies, it just returns to my hand at the beginning of my next end step. So if it dies in my turn, or in your turn, I get it back the turn after. So I don't have to pay for an additional commander cost every single time it dies, which is quite nice. Also, it spawns every single time I draw a 1/1 token. So with all these card draw mechanics inside of my deck, I can actually filter out a lot of cards like land. I need land. Well, I can gain land every single turn if I play it correctly. Just play the draw cards to get land. Then when I have enough land, play the Locust God, and then play another draw cards, so that you can actually start up building an army. It's really slow, I must admit, it's really slow, but it's a very fun deck to play against. Because it's not that strong, it is just, you know, draw cards, you get a big army, if you can remove the army, well done, you win. That's the main mechanic. But I should I should, but I didn't. Gladly I didn't. I had a very nasty combination of an infinite combo that I still possess on my possession, but this is one of the parts. It's called the Altar of the Brute. Ooh, spooky card. So every time a permanent enters the battlefield, so a token, a land, a creature, an enchantment, you know, an aura. So every time there is a permanent on the battlefield that stays on the battlefield, it's just a card that stays on the battlefield, enters the battlefield, the target needs to put its top card from its library to its graveyard. So what I had a 1/1 Topter, so that's Omnitopter, costs 0 mana. So it doesn't pay, you don't need to pay for mana cost of this creature. Then I had Counter Helix and I had Needle Drone. Needle Drone does, every time I play a colorless spell, like an artifact, I can just, you know, put it on the battlefield and then it untaps. So what that Counter Helix did, it gave the additional effect of return a target creature to its owner's hand. So what I could do was just like, well, I played a Needle Drone. I played Needle Drone, I played the Omnitopter, I played Counter Helix, and I have Altar of the Brute on the battlefield. That means that you got 0 cards at the end of your turn in your library, and you lose. It's a real dick move. So I didn't want that to do with Commander, you know, put an infinite combo deck in your in it to win it, you know, because it's really cheap, and well, I'm not with the cheap mechanic. It's a real cool thing. And then I also have fun cards like this one. It's really good. I like it. I got it from how do you say that, the packages of Friday Night Magic. I had it, and it is a legendary artifact, as you can see. It's Helm of the Host. So 4 mana. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token of the equipped creature. Except the equipped creature is not legendary. The equipped creature is if the equipped creature is legendary. The token gains haste. So for what? For 8 mana, you can technically equip your commander with this beautiful card. So you have now your commander and this card. Then you gain an additional copy of your commander on the battlefield. Well, every time then I draw, I gain 2 insect tokens, and then 4, and then every single combat after that, if you don't remove my commander, then every single combat after that, I gain more tokens the more commanders are on the battlefield. So it's really annoying because there are going to be a lot of commanders on the battlefield after the first trigger. So every single time I gain a 4/4 with flying, there you go, and I gain every single time I draw a token, but the tokens will actually increase in numbers every single time there is more tokens of the commander on the battlefield. So as you can see, there are some cards that I'm using that are quite good with commanders, but you know, I don't have all the good cards to follow it up. Like, for instance, if I want to have a specific cards, I can actually get them back from the graveyard to my hand. Like, for instance, the Acipite Golem. It's a 5 mana 3/5, and I can spend 2 mana to put the target card from your graveyard to the bottom of its library. It's not that great. I assure you, it's not that great. Like, let's see. I will show you one of the cards that is actually insanely good for Commander if you can build around it. It's like what did I just draw? You know, that's it's like a game ender for most decks, because it's a card that actually instantly denies the enemy to win. So it's not fun. I know it's not fun, but it's a really good card. So I bought a booster pack. Well, not booster pack, the multiple boosters. So for the new set, because I wanted some cards of it. So it's 2 white, 3 black, and 3 green. Yeah. Oh, and 2 green. So what it does says, it says return any number of permanents with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield. Ah, well, as you know, Commander cannot be a Commander game has can only have one of the same name of creatures, the same name card in your deck. So you can only have one of every named card in your deck. So you can only have one Altar of the Brood, one Locust card. So if you have a way to, you know, draw this card and have a lot of things in your graveyard that only have one single name, which happens in Commander, you can actually summon your whole bloody damn deck on the battlefield. Really easy and really quick. It's a very strong card. It's like a game ender if you pull it. Like, oh, you don't play blue? Well, too bad. I will play this card and I will summon my whole bloody damn deck on the battlefield. Goodbye. So yeah, that's the thing that happens. So yeah, it's really strong. It's like oof. But it costs a lot of mana, but still. It's really good because you can work around it, and multicolor commanders are actually quite strong. Some monocolor commanders are also good, like I don't know. Whoa, yeah. Sorry, like this guy. It's a really funny gimmick card, but it's really nice. So here you have King Kong. Just saying. So this great ape enters the battlefield. It can fight up to one target that you don't control. Whenever it attacks, it can destroy a target artifact, enchantment the defending player controls. So it's really strong. So if you find a way to make this creature attack multiple times, you can actually destroy artifacts and enchantments, but the main thing is that last letter. It says return target human you control to its owner hand and gain an indestructible, which is fascinating because that means that you actually have an indestructible commander on the battlefield. An indestructible commander on the battlefield means that you can not lose it to destroy spells. You can lose it to exile spells, but since that you play green, you have a lot of enchantment removal. That means that they won't be able to counter this. The only downside is that you need to, you know, return a human card to its owner's hand. So a human normally comes with the ability of entering the battlefield, and entering the battlefield is really good. Because you enter the battlefield, that means that you trigger something and then, you know, continue with doing it, and then. So yeah, rate my setup. It's really good. So yeah, I think I can now play Magic the Gathering if some people want against other people, you know. Even though it's not the best setup, it's like, well, I put the camera on a chair and then, you know, deal with that further. But yeah, it's the setup works, and my commander deck needs to, you know, I need to remove all the sleeves there are on this deck, and then I can do it. So I like it. I don't know how other people like it, but you know, I'm just gonna check it out. I also load the bitrate like what to 5,000, so it should be working. So yeah, this should work. All right. Yeah. Thanks for joining. And well, I'm gonna end it here. I'm just testing, you know, doing things my way, and it should work fine. So how do you do this? So I now need to stop streaming this. Yeah. I wasn't done. Sorry. So, I hope I see you all next time, and I hope you all have a nice day.